minus we will come upon the numericals of national income. In order to save your time, I have already jotted down a few questions here. This is the question number first for you people, wherein we are being now asked to calculate the net value added at market price. We are being asked to calculate net value added at market price, and the particulars given are like sales, closing stock, opening stock, sales, closing stock, opening stock, indirect tax, depreciation, intermediate consumption, purchase of raw material, and rent. The particulars given are in Arabs of rupees. So what we are being asked to calculate is net value added at market price. So net value added at market price, we will have to reach to the conclusion. We will have to look into the particulars first, what we would require. What is the formula? So before we start up with calculating, I'll do one thing. I'll show you stepwise how it is to be done. The solution will be like, we will look first for value added. Value added, which is equal to exactly output minus, okay, which is equal to output minus intermediate consumption. Output or sales. Fine. So from that we can reach to gross domestic product at market price. Ultimately we have to reach to the net value added. So we will reach to gross domestic product at market price, which is equal to sales plus change in stock, which is equal to closing stock minus opening stock minus intermediate consumption. So let us look into our particulars whether we have got these very particulars or not. Sales, yes, it is given, it is 90 here. Closing stock, okay, it is given, it is 25 minus opening stock, it is 15 minus intermediate consumption, it is 40. So proceeding with the concept, we will now calculate it, which will come equal to 60. Okay. So here we can reach to the NDP at MP. So GDP at MP, NDP at MP. So NDP at MP will be equal to now GDP at MP minus depreciation. That simply says that we have already calculated the GDP at MP, that is 60, minus the depreciation is given here, that is equal to 20. The answer will be 40. So dear students, if you are able to understand the concept properly, you look at the particulars once again, you will be able to see that we used a few particulars only, okay, and few were left there, such as what we used sales, we used closing stock, we used opening stock. Indirect taxes, we had to do nothing with it. According to our formula, it was not needed anywhere. Intermediate consumption, we used it. Purchase of raw materials, we don't have to, because intermediate consumption and purchase of raw materials, that means it is included in it. And rent, we don't have to do anything with it, so we didn't use it. So that is how you have to look into the things. For that, I can give you an example, a small example to understand. Suppose we have got three concepts here. We have got a concept of NIT. This is apart from this very numerical. NIT, that is net indirect taxes, which is equal to taxes minus subsidies. Okay. Now, for example, in a very particular numerical, under the particulars, we have been given NIT as 80. Then they have given taxes as say 60, subsidies as say 50, whatsoever. I don't care about it whether the LH is coming equal to RHS. I don't have to calculate it that here. I have to calculate, let us say, net value added at factor cost or NDP at FC, whatsoever. Okay. So if the parent is given, NIT is here the parent. Tax and subsidy are his kids. We don't have to consider the kids. We will take the parent into consideration. These two won't be taken. Suppose, in any case, you have not been given NIT. You have not been given any taxes. You have been given only subsidies. Okay. You have been given only subsidies. Let us say 20. So bear it in mind that you will have to consider this 20 as NIT. We will presume that there is 0 and it is already calculated. We don't have to look into it. That means it is a simple game. If A is made up of B and C, if A is made up of B and C, so that means A is including the traits of B as well as C. So if A is given, we don't have to take B and C. But in any case, if only C is given or B is given, we will take that as our main component, that is as his parent. We have been given an invitation to a marriage. My father is not able to visit because he had to do something more important, and he sends me. If I am going there, I am the representative of my father. That is, I am representing my father. So I'll be taken and treated as my father. So that doesn't mean that my father has not attended, I won't be allowed to join the function or enter into the function. It is like that. So dear students, here we will come upon to a second numerical. This is question number 2 for you people, because these are the types of numericals we may be asked time to time in the exams. Please listen it very properly. Industry X sells to Y for rupees 6,000. Industry Y is selling to Industry Z for rupees 8,000. And Industry Z is selling to the household for rupees 12,500. Say Industry X is here the farmer. Industry Y is here the miller. And Industry Z is here, let us say, the baker. And we are the ultimate consumers. We get it for 12,500 rupees. From this very given example or information, we are being asked to determine, number first, what is the value added in each industry? What is the value added in each industry? Number second, what is GDP, gross domestic product? And number third, what is the value added in each industry if X imports for rupees 1,000 and Y imports for rupees 1,500. Bear it in mind, we are talking here imports and about imports, and the imports means we are selling something. No, we are buying something from any other nation. When a selling and buying takes in place between the nations, nation A and nation B, it is termed as what? Buying or selling. No, imports and exports. If you are buying something from outside nation, it is import. If you are selling something to the outside nation, it is export. So here we are being asked to look into the imports. How we will proceed with the solution for this very question. So please bear in mind all this very information. and write it down first on a page or on a paper, then only you'll be able to understand it properly. So we will proceed with the solution, as I have to move the screen because of the limitations of the working space here. I cannot I don't have to rub, or I cannot work parallelly, so that is why you have to bear it in mind. Number first, what I am doing, I have to look to know, I'll write answer with the red color for you people to distinguish the things properly. Number first, calculation of value added. Okay, first we have been asked to calculate the value added. So here we'll write a line before it. That will be much better and best for you. I'll write a line for you people. You will be able to make a few things out of it. That will be value added of each industry, as from the question itself, is equal to value of output minus cost price. What is cost price? Exactly, one more name for intermediate consumption. So number first, now we will do that. Calculation of value added. Calculation of value added. So for that, what we will do, we will make a small table like we have made already. Number first thing will be transactions. Number second thing will be value of output. Number third will be cost price or intermediate consumption. And at last we will see into value added. That is what we have to actually do. So I'll underline whole of these very things, divide this table like this. Number first is X sells to Y for, look from the question, it is 6,000. Okay, his cost price we cannot determine, as this is the opening point, is nothing. The value added by him is 6,000. Number second is Y sells to Z. Now he has added some value. Let us say his value of output is 8,000 from the previous example. His cost price is from here, that is 6,000. And what is the value he added? That means value of output minus intermediate consumption is equal to 2,000. Number third is Z sells to household sector for 12,500. It is given in the question, and his value of output or his intermediate consumption will be 8,000. So that means value of output minus intermediate consumption, that is 12,500 minus 8,000 will come equal to 4,500. So let us close the table and look into what we come upon. So this will come equal to 8 plus 2 is 10 plus 4 is 14 plus 10 is 24 plus 2 is 26. That means 26,500. 6,000 and 8,000 means 14,000. 6 plus 2 is 8 plus 4,500 plus that means 12,500. Look, what I was telling earlier, this has to equal this, but here it is not in the context. What is in the context? We have already calculated the value added. So after we are done with the calculation of value addition, the second step will be to look into the process of the second part, that is GDP. So here we are able to tell now what is the value added by each firm. So I'll write it like I'll use another pen. Okay, value added. Please write it in the same manner if it is being asked in the exams, because proper format means proper marks. So value added by each industry is 6,000, 2,000 and 4,500 respectively. So dear students, this is the first part we are done with. Now let us proceed with the second part of the question. Second part of the question, what does it say? Let us go to the second part of the question. What is the value added by each firm is done? What is GDP? Now let us look into the GDP, but keeping in view the above information given. So GDP is equal to sum of value added by all industrial units, all industrial or industrial sectors or industries, whatsoever you like to write here, sectors. That will be equal to, we can find it from the table which we just did, or we can calculate it, 12,550. Again a very simple thing. Third step, what we have to do from the question is we have to look into what is value added in each industry if X imports for rupees 1,000 and Y imports for rupees 1,500. So here you must keep a few things in mind before you do it. That are, first we will look into the value added. Value added by X, that is industry X, firm X also, is equal to value added minus imports by X. What is imports? He is paying off for the imports. Imports are to be paid off. That is why it is to be excluded. So that will be equal to 6,000 minus 1,000 is equal to 5,000. This is our first thing. Second is value added by firm industry Y, which is equal to value added minus imports by Y. So that is equal to 8,000 minus 6,000 minus 1,500 will be, because intermediate consumption is in context, equal to 500. Third thing will be now value added by Z is equal to value added minus imports by Z, which is equal to 12500 from the above information minus these 8,000 again from the above information, 4,500. So this is our third thing. So by this way we are able to complete this question. But before we say that we completed this question, you must bear one thing in mind. This, please write it down as a small note, as a footnote with this question, and that is imports are intermediate cost and exports form value of output. As I was saying earlier, imports are to be paid while exports is a receipt concept. You receive money from it. That is why imports are intermediate costs. Imports are intermediate costs. So that's what we did here in the above example. And exports form what? Value of output. This you have to keep in mind before you proceed with any other example or any other question. So dear students, here we are done with this thing as well. Now let us take one more question for you people, because as much practice you do, so much better will be for you. This is calculate gross value added at market price. The question says calculate gross value added at market price. The particulars are import duty, sales, depreciation. If it would have been like consumption of fixed capital, it is one and the same thing. Net change in stocks, this is net change in stocks, that is calculated. Sales tax, purchase of raw materials, that is intermediate, and corporate tax, that is the taxation part. So looking into all these very components, what comes to our mind first is that question is asking to look for gross value added at market price. From the previous done formulas, we know it is equal to sales plus change in stock minus intermediate consumption. Okay, so sales are given, change in stock, net change in stock it is given, and intermediate consumption is purchase of raw materials, it is given. It is one and the same thing. Okay, so what it will come equal to? 800 plus, it is in minus 40 minus 360. That will come equal to 400. Okay. Now in this very question, you must be thinking that we have been given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 components, but we basically or actually we use just 1, 2 and 3 components. 1, 2 and 3 components. What of the rest 5 components? We do not require them. It is not required. It is there, let it be, it is there. We don't require them, so we don't have to use them. So you can write it as a footnote here in your question, that item first, third, fifth, and which one? Okay, seventh are not required. They are there, let it be. We don't require them, so we won't use them. So what we are concerned with is what it is asking. It is asking for gross value added at market price, which is equal to sales plus change in stock minus intermediate consumption, and we will complete it and we are done with this sort of question if it is being asked. So these are questions which represent a group of questions, that how the types of questions being asked to you people. Now let us do one more question, and this will be our last question to understand the things more properly. So here you will have to sum up a few things together. So this is the question. From the following information about firm X, calculate gross value added and net value added by it. What we are being asked to calculate? The first thing, gross value added. The second thing, net value added. So it is one and the same thing. If we calculate any of the aggregates, we can reach to every of aggregate. whatsoever is being asked. So first we will look into the gross value added. See students, it's gross value added. It is given gross value added, but it is not given at market price or at factor cost. That is what I started with. If it is not indicated whether it is at market price or the factor cost, we will take it at market price only. So bear it in mind that this thing is at market exactly price. So how we would perform the solution? This is our solution now. We have to look for gross value added at market price. What it is equal to? Sales plus change in stock minus intermediate consumption. Okay. So dear students, look into the components properly. The sales have not been given as should had been. If it would have been indicated like sales this much, we would have taken them directly. But what we have been given is, we have been given domestic sales, we have been given production for self-consumption, imputed, you remember, and we have been given exports as well. So these three things have been given separately. So how we would take it as, now our sales will be equal to our domestic sales, that is first, plus our production for self-consumption, that is third, plus our exports, that is second. Okay. Plus there is one more thing which is important to be taken into consideration: change in stock. Okay. Now change in stock has been given as it is, so we will put it like as it is, minus intermediate consumption. Intermediate consumption is something which has been bifurcated into purchase from firm A, purchases from firm B, and imports of raw material. It is imports. Imports means purchase. Imports of raw materials, that is 3. These 3 have been given separately, so we will club them. Minus, we will have to club them. Purchase of from firm B is 4th one, plus 5th one, plus 6th one. Okay, I am writing in the short form. Please bear it, because I want you people to understand it properly, so that you may have a look on your question and you may see how the answer is producing. But you please elaborate each and every term. Do not write first plus third plus second. You must write a domestic sales plus production for self-consumption plus exports, so on and so forth. So if I proceed with it, let us put the numbers. What has been given? It is 300. Third one is 50 plus 100 plus 60 minus 110. Purchase from firm A, purchase from firm B is 70 plus 70, and imports of raw materials is 30. Put it together, what it will come to? 300 plus 100 is 400, 450 plus 60 minus 170, 180, 110, 260, and 280, 300 crores. Okay, if it is in the crores, because it is indicated here in crores. So dear students, we are done with what? Gross value added at market price. Now it is easy for us to reach anywhere they ask us to reach. Now let us look for the net value added at market price, which is equal to gross value added at market price minus depreciation or consumption of fixed capital, whatsoever has been given, whatsoever is being given. We don't worry about it. Gross value added we have already calculated is 300 minus what is depreciation. Let us look into depreciation. Depreciation has not been given, but we have been given it as the consumption of fixed capital. See here, it is given consumption of fixed capital. Consumption of fixed capital, it is here. So we know that it is depreciation only, so we will take it like here. So the final answer is 280. This is your final answer. So dear students, we are done with this thing as well, but here you must bear two things in mind in this very question. I'll write it as a footnote for you people. Please you also put it down in your notebook. Number first is the sum of output. It is apart from the question, please. First, second and third equals the value of sales including what I said earlier, that is what I am writing down, including imputed sales. What are imputed sales? Exactly the second part or the third part which was there. Number second, which you have to bear in mind, is the sum of fourth one, fifth one and sixth one will equal to intermediate consumption. So dear students, please bear it in mind that these two things are really very important for you to write down at the end of the question, so that you may remember when you are preparing for the final exams or any of the tests coming forward. So with this we are done with our first method, that is the method of calculation by product method, or which is called a value added method. So here I am taking a leave of yours, and next lecture will be regarding the income method and expenditure method, and maybe if something is remaining from the chapter will be done in it. So here I am taking a leave. God bless you and God bless us all.